Hello, my name is Faizzan and today I will be presenting on how public law strengthens governance and decision making in the Department of Government Services, or DGS. This presentation moves beyond describing legal principles and instead critically evaluates how the knowledge from modules 1 to 4 can be applied to and benefit DGS in practice. The focus is on demonstrating how public law operates as a practical governance tool, shaping how authority is exercised, controlled, and made accountable within the department. My central argument is that public law is not simply a compliance requirement. It fundamentally shapes how power is exercised, structured, and legitimized within DGS. The key benefit of applying this knowledge is that it enables DGS to move from implicit governance, where authority is assumed, to deliberate governance, where authority, accountability, and decision making are clearly understood and actively managed. And to demonstrate this, I will apply modules 1 to 4 to DGS and assess both on how they improve governance outcomes and where limitations or risks still exist in practice. Module 1 establishes the legislative and constitutional framework underpinning the administrative law. It is built on core principles, including the rule of law, acting within legal power or jurisdiction, procedural fairness, and also rational decision making. In DGS, these principles are operationalized through multi-layered delegation frameworks, particularly under the Financial Management Act and the Standing Directions 2018 issued under the Financial Management Act and framework. These frameworks define who is authorized to make decisions and the limits of that authority and the conditions under which power can be exercised. The key benefit of applying this knowledge is that it enables DGS to ensure that decisions are legally valid, they are consistently applied, and traceable to an authorized decision maker. However, the critical issue in practice is that legal authority is often assumed rather than actually or actively verified, particularly in operational environments. And this creates a real risk of ultra-vires decision where actions fall outside legal authority, potentially rendering them invalid and exposing the department to challenge. What this reveals is that governance failures are rarely due to intentional non-compliance. They are more often the result of unclear or complex delegation structures. They're due to insufficient understanding of legal authority at operational levels, and they're also due to decision-making processes that prioritize outcomes over legal validity. In DGS, the benefit of applying Module 1 knowledge is that it strengthens governance by embedding legal validation into decision-making processes, by ensuring that delegations are actively understood and applied, and also by improving the defensibility of decisions under external scrutiny, including audit or judicial review. This shifts governance from being reactive to proactive and controlled. Module 2 expands the analysis by placing DGS within Australia's federal system. In this system, power is divided between the Commonwealth and the states, and DGS operates within a complex environment which is influenced by various factors such as the state legislation, the Commonwealth frameworks, and also intergovernmental agreements. The broader context is referred to as the authorizing environment, which includes ministers, parliament, and accountability institutions. The benefit of understanding this environment is that it enables DGS to clearly identify where the authority sits. It also helps to understand the limits of its jurisdiction, and it also helps operate effectively across multiple layers of government. However, the critical challenge is that decision making often occurs in shared responsibility environments. While coordination is necessary, it can lead to blurred accountability, unclear ownership of risks, and inconsistent implementation across jurisdictions. And so, therefore, by applying the knowledge from Module 2, DGS can be benefited by reinforcing the need to maintain clear internal accountability, by making it clear and defining ownership of decisions and risks, and also by ensuring that responsibility is not diluted by intergovernmental agreements. This strengthens DGS's ability to remain accountable to Parliament even within complex multi jurisdictional environments. Now, Module 3 focuses on how executive power is exercised through different types of entities, which includes departments, statutory authorities, and government enterprises. Each structure represents a different balance between control and independence and different accountability arrangements. The benefit of understanding these structures is that it enables DGS to not only design governance arrangements that align authority with responsibility, but it also helps DGS ensure that oversight mechanisms are appropriate for the functions being performed. However, in practice, structures are often influenced by policy or political considerations rather than governance design. Now, this creates a key governance risks, especially where authority, responsibility, and accountability are not properly aligned. For example, um, it can increase independence, and that can reduce oversight. It can create unclear reporting lines, which may weaken accountability, and it can also create fragmented structures that may create duplication or gaps. By applying Module 3 and its knowledge, DGS can benefit by enabling it to critically assess governance structures. It can help to clarify between the roles between ministers, departments, and entities, and it can also ensure that authority is matched with accountability. This can lead to more effective and controlled governance outcomes. Module 4 examines the increasing use of corporatization and commercial delivery models within government. DGS operates in an environment where services may be delivered through shared services, outsourced providers, and commercially structured entities. And these models are often used to improve efficiency and service delivery outcomes. However, they can also create a key tension between commercial efficiency and public accountability and administrative law protections. The key risk here is that commercial models can often reduce transparency. They can often weaken procedural fairness, and in a number of ways, they can obscure accountability pathways. And so, by applying the knowledge from Module 4, DGS can benefit and enable itself to critically assess delivery models. It can also ensure that accountability mechanisms remain enforceable, and it can also preserve um, public law safeguards even in commercial environments. This ensures that efficiency gains do not come at the cost of governance integrity or public trust. Across all four modules, a consistent theme emerges, and that is that the power in DGS is legally constrained, it is structurally distributed, and it is operationally complex. The key governance risk is misalignment, where there is legal authority, there are governance structures, and there are various delivery models, and that they are not aligned. However, the benefit of applying the knowledge from these modules is that it enables DGS to identify and manage this misalignment, and it also helps to ensure that governance arrangements support effective decision making. And so there are three key practical implications for DGS. First, authority must be clearly identified and validated before decisions are made, including the relevant legislation delegation framework. Second, governance structures must be deliberately designed to align with the function being performed. And third, accountability mechanisms must remain enforceable, particularly where services are delivered through outsourced or commercial models. And collectively, these actions ensure that public law principles remain embedded in all aspects of DGIS operations. And so, in conclusion, the knowledge from modules 1 to 4 provide a comprehensive framework for understanding how public power is exercised in DGS. It demonstrates that governance is not just about structure or processes, but about the lawful, accountable, and transparent exercise of authority. And most importantly, the application of this knowledge is where DGS is benefited by strengthened decision-making processes, improved accountability, and reduced governance risk. Thank you so much.